Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we've got a special guest with us, Geraldine. We actually spoke maybe about a week ago or so on YouTube, and she was letting me know that she has been dealing with congestive heart failure, but has got a recent update from her doctor. And so we're going to be talking about that, her situation, and everything that happened. I'm really, really excited to share this with the world, and I'm very, very grateful that she decided to do this interview. So stay tuned. We'll be getting into that right now.
We're missing a piece of the puzzle.
You start getting healthy and you just become a better person.
We need to start focusing more on the individual.
All right, we're back, Geraldine. So we have never really spoken before prior to this. I mean, we had a little bit of discussion over YouTube and a little bit of discussion via email. So I'm just going to ask a couple of background questions, if that's okay.
Okay.
So where are you from?
Bronx, New York, home of the Yankees.
Okay. I used to live in New York. I was there for probably about a year. Not in the city. I lived on Long Island.
Okay.
And what was the issue that you were dealing with that we're going to be talking about today?
I had chronic systolic congestive heart failure.
And how long have you been aware of that?
It was totally by surprise. It was the onset. It started where I couldn't breathe at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the edema in the feet. And I didn't know anything was going on until one night I really could not breathe. I had to call 911.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So after that visit, they kind of let you know what was going on. How long ago was that?
2016. It happened right after New Year's.
Okay. All right. So I guess what was their protocol? What were the doctors suggesting for you to do? I mean, I'm sure they put you on some medication, set up some follow-up visits. Can you give us a little background?
Okay, we'll start with the hospital. I had to stay in the hospital. Right away, they started flooding me with diuretics and hypertension medicine to alleviate the pressure on my heart. I had a lot of tests. I had MRIs, echoes, echocardiograms. I had blood work. I was put on oxygen because I could not breathe without the oxygen. And of course, they did ACE inhibitors I had. So I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I think I lost like 30 pounds in the hospital.
Wow.
Once I was released, I was put into like a cardiac program where they were just monitoring me. That's about it.
Okay. So you said they put you on a program?
Well, they have basically medication because I was told that you couldn't be reversed. I told this was it. It wouldn't get any better than that. I could not be healed from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it as a license that there was no coming back from it. Yeah. So, because I couldn't even exercise at the time, I'd walk. It somehow affected the nervous system in my feet. So I have now peripheral neuropathy from that. It's like I lost some of the nerve sensation in my feet. So I started dragging my left foot. So I couldn't exercise. It was hard to walk, let alone going up and down stairs. So.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. It was really bad.
Did they tell you? Did they give you any type of information to kind of say, hey, this is kind of why this happened, or was it just, oh, it's a genetic thing, hereditary? Like, did they tell you anything?
They were not sure. They did say because I went through perimenopausal that this was probably an onset of that, but they weren't sure. They could this happen so suddenly.
Okay.
Because I was healthy all my life. I was born with a heart murmur, but they said that shouldn't affect it. But after I came to the hospital, and then just when I had the diagnosis from the doctor recently, he said my heart murmur was gone as well.
Okay. Okay.
So everything's like totally cleared up. But they can't tell me exactly what happened to set it off.
Right. Okay. So then, I mean, that's a really rough situation, especially, trusting the doctors and them telling you that there's pretty much nothing you could do. You're going to be dealing with this for the rest of your life. How did you, because clearly, you were able to get past this. So how did you kind of either start learning about natural healing? What motivated you? I mean, how did that even happen?
Well, actually, my mother we kind of grew up that way in alternative medicine. My mother believed herbs and everything, but as you get older, we kind of shied away from it. What happened is I had a bad reaction to one of the medications, where now I became asthmatic due to that medication. So I think, no, there has to be something different from this. So I started going online, internet, of course, and I came across Life Extension, and which was founded by Paul Bragg. He did apple cider vinegar. We didn't really, participate in too well. So I said, well, I'm going to go to God for this. So God's like, do the Daniel fast, which I started. Daniel fast is similar to the vegan diet. So I started doing the Daniel fast, and, I would fast a day here or there, but it's predominantly the Daniel fast. And I did a 7-day water fast around the summertime. And I didn't plan on doing it around my schedule that I had to go to the doctor. So by the time I went to the doctor, my blood pressure was so low, I nearly passed out. And they wanted to admit me back into the hospital. Like, no, I'm fine. So they say, okay, you have to take this blood pressure, get home, and you have to monitor your heart, your blood pressure. I said, okay, I can do that. But I didn't want to go because I know what I did. I didn't tell them that I was sick, So I decided at that point that I would break the fast. So I started with some broth, and I broke the fast on my own. And, I started feeling much better. The pain in my feet got better. At some point, I couldn't cover my feet at night because it bothered my toes so much. That all went away. I still have not really pain. It's more like a numbness from the neuropathy. But the pain is gone. I had sciatica, that's gone. My blood pressure now is back to normal. It was always like 110, 120. And during the time that I was sick, it went up to almost, it was like 160 almost at one point. So I was on high blood pressure medication, and I just had so much medicine going on. I knew that it was causing an adverse reaction in my body that I had to do something.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. One of the things I've noticed about when people are being medicated is each medication has side effects that then have to be medicated. So
correct.
Yeah, there's always a chain reaction. So you said you started doing fasting, but when did you do your first fast? Like, not, I mean, after 2016, and you used to kind of had this diagnosis. When did you do your first fast?
It was, I think it was last September of 2017. Because I didn't really I was so busy running back to the doctor. They put me in physical therapy for my walking and for the feet. So I didn't really get proactive till about last year. Around September is when I started fasting. Right.
And you said you pretty much did like a Daniel fast, did intermittent fasting.
Right. I started with the Daniel fast, and then I did a water fast. And from there, I said, okay, I can't seem to do the water fast right now because I was doing this on my own, and I didn't want to cause any more problems that I was already having. So I said, okay, intermittent fasting for me is a little bit easier because at least I get to eat during the day. So I started off with I would try to go to maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I started doing OMAD.
Okay.
I got into OMAD.
1 meal a day.
Right. And then now I'm cycling. So I'll do the Daniel fast, and I'll water fast every now and then. And I became vegan.
Oh, wow.
Aquatic type of food. And I'm trying to get my sons into that as well. But I'm cycling through because I don't want to just stick with one thing and then be kind of stuck on my own. So, and then I always put prayer and fasting ahead of everything anyway.
Right.
So, and that's how I came across your channel on YouTube. I was trying to research and say, okay, who's doing this? This is new. It's not new. It's been around for a long time, but socially, it's new.
Right.
I said, who's doing this? And that's how I came across your channel.
Wow.
And then I got to Dr. Huang. So
that's amazing. So then, if you had to pinpoint it, how long would you say it took you? Because I know you just talked to your doctor, right? You just got your test results back not too long ago.
Correct.
So
I noticed that. I'm sorry. I noticed I was feeling better. I didn't know the medical things that were going on. I just said, okay, something's working because I feel better. And slowly but surely, they started cutting my meds down. And finally, he's like, you don't need any of this. Take this all away. And, whatever you're doing, whatever happens, just keep doing it. You're fine now. So I didn't fast water fasting. I didn't fast for a long period of time because of my heart condition. I didn't know what to do at that point. So maybe I could have gone longer than 7 days. The longer I was cycling, and honestly, God is like, you don't have to do all that right now. Just, I was following His direction. The longer I was fasting, I was putting Him first. I was okay. I knew that.
Okay.
So I just was trying to, like right now, I'm on a juice fast. So I'll be finishing that up in about a couple of days or so. But then it's been led in my heart to try to do that for 100 days.
Wow.
We'll see if that's going to happen. Because that's a lot of shopping.
Well, it's, the juice is, it is. It can be expensive to juice. I know that when I do my juice fast, I like to mix water in with it a lot. So
right.
It depends on the type of juice fast you do. I know some people promote doing, 32 ounces of juice a day or even more. Me personally, I was using maybe about 24 ounces of juice. And of course, you could go for the cheapest juice. Orange juice is really inexpensive. I make my juice. I don't know if you've got your juicer set up.
Well, I bought it's a Breville. I bought my own juicer. I have a lot of gadgets. I bought my own juicer and have several blenders. And I use water too, and I also do your sun water.
Ooh.
So I have my kids. What do you have glasses on the windowsill for? So I have gallons of water sitting on my windowsill, gathering up the sunlight. There's no way to put it in New York. So
right.
I'm doing the sun water as well because we have big bay windows. So I do get a lot of sunlight.
Perfect.
So I would use that. That's
perfect. It works really well, through a window because it's going through a glass jar, glass window, no big deal. So then, just to sum it up a little bit, you did this. The longest water fast you did was 7 days, but you were consistently doing some form of fasting, whether it was the Daniel's fast, which is just more a particular diet, or 1 meal a day, or even intermittent fasting. And essentially what you were able to do with a very, I would consider that a very soft protocol because, especially with like the Daniel fast, the 1 meal a day and intermittent fasting, those are much easier fasts than,
right.
And you were able to, within a few months, start to see healing. And then within a year, now you've gone back to the doctor and he's told you that your congestive heart failure is completely reversed. Can you?
Right. And other things too as well in my body has changed.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm sure. How much did you record how much weight you lost throughout the whole process?
On my own, about 20 pounds. In the hospital, about 30. Because they
Okay.
were more, they were flooding me with diuretics to try to
Uh-huh.
bring the pressure off my heart. So I lost a lot of weight in the hospital, but on my own, about 20 pounds.
Okay. Okay. So about 50
So,
pounds total.
um, and I'm so not 50 pounds. I was never really overweight. I'm stocky. I'm muscular.
Uh-huh.
I was very, and that's another thing they don't understand because I was very active. You know, I worked out a lot. I ran, so they couldn't understand why I was sick all the time.
Well, I find that 90% of our disease is dietary. Now,
Correct, correct.
there's I was at work a couple months ago, and my friend, his back was hurting, and I started asking him. I said, well, what do you eat? That's one of the first questions I ask people. And of course, he drinks Monsters every day, Red Bulls. He eats at fast food restaurants every single day. Um, and I just was like, your diet is affecting your back. He's like, Chris, that's crazy. That how like your diet, what you eat, put in your stomach has nothing to do with your back. And I
Right,
think that that's one of the biggest mistakes that modern medicine makes, is that they try to take the body and separate it into different parts like it's a car. And
correct,
the
correct.
reality is the body is a dynamic organism that works synergistically. So by fixing our diet, a lot of times we save ourselves a lot of heartache. Also, water. We don't drink enough water. So one of the biggest issues we have is dehydration. And even if you drink a lot more water, because I mean, it sounds like maybe you do some working out or you were athletic, active, so you probably did drink water. But if you're not drinking the right type of water, then you're not getting proper hydration. And
Right.
so the combination of those two elements, and then of course there's many other factors that could play a role as well. But I think that if we attack those two elements, which it seems like that's exactly what you did, you changed your diet, and then also you gave your system a chance to take a break and start healing. And I'm really excited to hear that you started using the sun water.
Yeah.
Now, the juice fasting is going to be extremely good for you too. So, I mean, you're definitely listening to the right source, because the juice fasting, that has what's called structured water, the juice of the fruit, and
Correct.
that's what helps promote cellular hydration. And that's what we need in order to heal, on a cellular level. And that's where you see some of this miraculous healing coming from. But I'm very curious, because I'm assuming that you were going to the same doctor this whole time.
Well, they switched cardiologists twice, so I didn't have the same cardiologist that I entered in the hospital with. But
Okay.
I think I had joined the Facebook group about maybe 3, 4 months prior to this last cardiologist appointment, and I did a dry fast for the very first time for like 2 days. I'm wondering if that also promoted the change as well.
Yeah, I was I
And
was actually
I've never done that before.
I was actually going to mention the dry fasting, because what they were doing in the hospital when they were giving you the diuretics, essentially what they were doing is they were doing an artificial form of a dry fast. It's basically, in order for inflammation to occur in the body, your body needs water. I mean, it uses water. When you dry fast, um, it's very good for reducing inflammation in the body. So I have no doubt in my mind that dry fasting helped you, and it's something that I probably would have suggested to you, had we spoken earlier on about this, or in general, dry fasting is very, very powerful, especially when it comes to inflammation. So I'm curious, when you went into the office to go over your test results, how did that conversation go?
He kept checking his notes and going through my records. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. And then he pulled up the old EKG and compared it to what was going on. he actually showed me the echocardiogram. He actually showed me how my heart was pumping the very first time I came into the hospital, and how it was pumping the last test that I took. And he had to call his doctor's supervisor and to go over, is this correct? Take any medicine.
Wow.
In fact, the 2 medicines that they gave me was just recalled in 2018. So could you imagine if I was still on that medication, was pulled? I would have been very upset. I think what saved me is that I did have allergic reaction to one of them, because I would have still been on it. And in fact, it's lisinopril. If anyone listening, go take that. So it's just, I wasn't crazy about taking medicine before, but to know that, it could have an adverse reaction, and you have options. You just have to be aware. I think that's the most important thing. And I changed my diet because I became aware. Yes, I drank water, but like you said, I probably wasn't drinking the right water. I ate clean, but I probably wasn't eating. I did a lot of high protein because I was working out, I wanted to build muscle. I did a lot of, maybe I had too much protein. They say you have to have a certain amount. I probably had too much protein. There was one point when I was doing a cutting phase. So if you are aware of what you're doing to your body and you make the necessary changes, you can probably heal anything.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just healed something that is literally like it's impossible. As far as they're concerned, it's impossible. They told you you're going to have it for the rest of your life. So,
well, not the rest of my life. They told me I was going to die from it. That was going to kill me. They gave me 5 years because in the past they said, okay, you can't cure this. It's going to happen. The life expectancy, I think, was less than about 5 years.
Wow.
So you're going to tell me I'm going to die in 5 years. I got to do something.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. So then, this must have been pretty emotional for you getting those test results.
Oh, it scared me to death because I didn't know what was going on. And even, I didn't think anything was wrong with my heart. I thought, okay, I can't breathe. I must have a bad cold. I don't know what's going on. But when they, right away, they came in the ambulance, they were giving me aspirin, and, I was like, something's wrong, something. But then not only did I have the CHF, it started affecting my kidney. I got the neuropathy from that, the sciatica. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. It was just like everything happened at once.
Right.
And now my body's in this healing process, and I'm just going to follow it through.
Absolutely.
And if I can do a longer water fast, I'm going to do it.
Well,
but I like what you said. I'm sorry. You said about if you prepare to do the water fasting. That's why I started really getting heavy into the juice fasting. So I can. They normally start fast like the beginning of the year with the churches. They'll do like a 3-day or a 7-day or 10 or even 21. I want to be able to do that with them. So I said, okay, I'm going to take what you said. I'm going to start preparing my body for a longer water fast and maybe throwing some dry fasting in there as well. And we'll see where that brings.
Absolutely. That's perfect because I know a lot of people, they get really excited about the benefits of fasting and they want to jump right in and they skip preparation, which it can help you. The fasting is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. So preparing your body for it ahead of time is very, very wise. So I have every confidence that you're going to be successful. And, doing a 21-day or even 100-day juice fast would be extremely beneficial. Much easier to do than a pure water fast. But I know for me personally, I saw a lot of my bowels started moving more frequently and more efficiently after my juice fast. So I'm a very big proponent of juice fasting, if not just for that reason. It helps get the bowels moving.
Right.
So I'm very excited for you, and I don't know I know you said a lot of things have kind of healed, and you've kind of mentioned those as we've been talking. Was there anything else that you noticed that that you healed, or is there anything else in the future that you're looking to heal?
Well, I started the fasting really for my health. Now I'm going to work on my body composition. That's the next thing for me. Being that I was active, I'm not as active as I wanted to be or could be at this point.
Okay. So I wanted to mention something to you about the protein, just because, I figured since we're talking, I would give you, my knowledge that I have. Um, John and I don't know if you've seen it, John and I have done a video where we talked about the idea that we need to ingest protein, especially animal protein, to,
Right.
gain muscle mass. One of the experiments that we did really early on, John actually he was doing a fasting stretch. He wasn't fasting consistently, but he would take like 2-day breaks, and he was working out every day. So he would fast for 5 days and he would work out, probably 4 or 5 days a week. And then he would take a break where he was eating twice a week. Doing that, I can't remember exactly how long it was. It might have been 3 or 5 months, but over the span of that time, he was able to gain about 15 pounds of muscle doing that. And essentially, he was taking in no protein. So
Right.
I feel like that right there shows that clearly we don't have a very good understanding of the human body. Um, I know that there's a difference between muscle mass and strength, because what'll happen when you fast, especially if you're like a bodybuilder or something, you'll deflate. So you'll look a lot smaller. But as far as the strength goes, you lose little to no strength. And I've personally seen it as well as John. Um, I know that when he had lost 100 pounds, he was the strongest he had ever been. And John is a veteran, so he was over in the Middle East, and they were eating protein every day and they were working out every day. I mean, he was big, and at 100 pounds lighter, he was stronger than he was when he was active duty. So I feel like we broke a lot of those stereotypes. You don't need protein at all based on our research, especially if you're utilizing some form of extended fasting, because you actually increase the human growth hormone, by up to 2,000% when you fast. So between day one and I think 48 hours of fasting, you have an increase of almost 2,000% of the human growth hormone. So you can actually build muscle that way.
Right. Right. I think we've been taught the wrong thing because I used to eat the 6 meals a day. I had 3 major meals, 3 snacks, a lot of protein, and of course, you stay away from all carbohydrates. This is what we were taught, and it's not necessary. It's not correct. So, if I get my protein, I get it from my vegetables now, and I do the chia seeds, I do the omega seed, I do the flax seed. So I'm getting my protein source from other things other than meat. I don't eat meat anymore. And I'm trying to get my children to stay away from their meat eaters. So that's, boys. That's a little hard, but I don't eat meat anymore. I
Wow.
feel better when I don't eat. And actually, I feel better when I don't eat. I don't feel like eating right now. Well, I don't want that.
Absolutely. I'm in the same
It's
boat.
what we were taught. Yeah, it's what we've been taught, and it wasn't correct. Like when I hear
Absolutely.
someone say, "Oh, you have to eat 6 times a day," no, you do not. No, you do. That's our problem now. We eat too much.
Right.
So,
Eating too much and eating the wrong things. And
right, right,
like you said, we've been taught the wrong things. So they teach us that a calorie is a calorie, right? There's no difference between the calorie that you get from an orange or the calorie you get from a Snickers bar. And that is so untrue. It's
that's true.
it's mind-boggling that they can put this information out there. And I think people know it's not true, but because some scientist is saying it, or because somebody with a degree is saying it, we're like, well, they're smarter than we are. They're smarter than I am. So, it must be some science. No, sometimes we have to go with our gut instincts, which, you know, at the end of the day, our guts aren't trying to like make money off of us. I mean, that's really
Right.
what it boils down to. you've got all of these different systems, the pharmaceutical systems and the medical industry, and they have to make money, and they need you to be sick in order to do that. So
correct.
And then we've got the nutritional industry, which a lot of people don't think about. It's like that's a multi-billion-dollar industry where they're teaching you how to like it's a preventative, right? But you have to think about it like if my company sells vitamins and my vitamins work, they actually do help people, stay healthy or whatever, I'm going to go out of business because, eventually people aren't going to need it anymore, right? So it can't work. I can't be a thriving multi-billion-dollar industry if the products I'm putting out there actually heal people, right? Because once you're healed, you don't need to take the stuff anymore. So
right.
Absolutely, we always got to keep that in mind. So what do you have for the future? Do you have a long-term water fast goal in mind that you want to kind of hit one day?
Ultimate, the 40-day fast.
Oh.
Ultimate. I would love to do that.
Me too.
Love to do that. So when I hear people say, "Oh, I did a 40," I'm like, "You did 40 days." It's very hard to even do 4 hours. So that would be my ultimate goal, to do that, 40-day water fast. I find that the dry fast is a little easier than the water fast for some reason. So, but you don't really need to do, for me, wouldn't need to do more than 3 to 5 days for a dry fast. It's the water fast for me is the hardest one to do. So
absolutely.
That would be the ultimate goal. And just to be where I don't have to depend on medication to live happily. That's what to be healthy. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that, when I very first started the group on Facebook, we had a member, she was on 13 medications. And I don't remember, it's been almost 2 years now. I don't remember exactly how long it took, but it wasn't long. It was only a couple of months of her doing some long-term fasting and changing some dietary things. And she was off every single medication. So, when you say that you believe it's possible to heal from anything, I'm right there with you. I've seen it. The miraculous healing that you have shared with us today, as well as, a lot of the healing I've seen on the group over the past couple of years. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that we can't heal. And it just takes us understanding our body and working with our body to help promote the natural healing. So I'm very excited for you for the future. It sounds like you're doing extremely well. Consistency, I think, is the key to all of this. Not giving up. Right?
But even if you can't do 3 days straight, if you do a day here and there, eventually it builds up. So you can go a longer period, but even that day counts. It's better than not doing it at all.
Absolutely.
That's my philosophy. I can't do the whole 7 day at one time. Then I'll do a day here for this month. I'll do a day. It helps. It will help.
And look at you. You've cured something that was supposed to be a death sentence. So
right.
That's huge. I'm really glad that you brought that point up. It's actually something that I plan to talk about a little bit in a future video, because people they beat themselves up about not being able to do the long fasts, but the short fasts work too, especially if you're consistent.
Right. It just the cycle that you had, the 5 days on, 2 days off, that works perfectly if you can't do it all the time.
Absolutely.
You just got to be consistent. With anything else, you got to be consistent.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited. I hope to hear, within the next couple of months or year that you have either completed or you're preparing for your 40-day.
My God.
I'm gonna give you a year. I'm gonna be looking to hear something within the next year. That gives you enough time. But I'm actually I'm preparing for a 30-day fast right now, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll end up pushing that to 40 days, because my original goal was to fast for 30 days, and I never completed that. I did about 2 weeks, and then recently I challenged John to do 40 days. He didn't hit the mark, but I am interested in completing that myself. I think that there's something special that happens when you complete a 40-day fast.
Yes, I do believe that. on every aspect, mentally, spiritually, physically. There's something about the 40 days.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
So that's an excellent goal, and I look forward to, like I said, getting another update from you to just kind of share. Hopefully we can do this again. Maybe talk about some of the new things that you were able to see happen, and if not, just encourage others to stay strong.
Okay.
Did you
Well,
have
right now I'm working on my parents, so I'm working on my parents because they're not. It's hard for them to fast. So I told them to start with the Daniel fast if you can't do any other fast, right? But they're, when you're stuck in your old ways, it's hard to change. So hopefully they can change it. But I try to get my parents to get into it.
That's crazy because the fact that they know your situation, right? Like they've seen everything you're going through. They know that you literally beat this disease. So it's mind-boggling to me that they wouldn't just be right on board. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when you trust the doctors and you can't take their word is not the law. And the doctor said so and so. Yeah, but try this. This works. Try this. Oh, I'll see. Whoa, okay.
Right.
So, it's just more people should be on board than what there is right now at this point. And when you're told something over and over and over, this is the law, and this is how it's done, a lot of people follow that, and that's not always the case. So hopefully my parents will change their mindset.
I hope so
too. They can really use it.
We all can. The funny thing about it is the body forced you to fast every day while you're asleep.
Right. Right.
So, and even you talk about breakfast, breakfast is breaking your fast. So it's a natural part of our life. We've just, like you said, we've been taught the wrong things. People have been teaching us eat 6 times a day. When I heard that, I was a kid at the time when I very first heard that. I'm like, wait a minute, how does eating 6 times a day help you lose weight? How can eating more be beneficial to weight loss? And it's like, they literally teach us the reverse. So if they're telling you eat 6 times a day, then you need to eat 0 times a day. Like, that's the real truth.
For sure. I used to walk around with a lunch bag to get all my meals in.
Oh, wow.
This is great. Now I don't have to worry about that. I can leave the house, get up in the morning. I don't have to wait. I don't make coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't have to do my coffee or anything. I just get up and go. And then I come back and make, dinner for the boys, and that's it. It saves so much time and energy.
And money too, right?
And definitely money. Well, no, the boys eat me out of house at home anyway. So. But definitely it does save time, energy, and money. It does.
Absolutely.
It changes your mindset too. You think clearer when you're fat.
Oh, agreed.
You don't have the brain fog. Yeah, I had that too. I was suffering. I couldn't think. But now I'm thinking much better.
That's so common. I think that it's so common that we don't even realize that it's a real thing. We just kind of chalk it up to the human experience, especially as we get older. But the thing I'm seeing is that younger and younger people are having these issues that 50 years ago we would consider, old people issues, but we're having them at 20 and 30 and 40 years old, So yeah, we've got to change something. The poison that they're putting in the food. I posted a video last week about this guy who was getting upset because he found out that they were putting poison in the cereal, and it's very interesting that they attack the kids. If you look at a lot of the baby foods, a lot of the snacks like goldfish, the fruit roll-ups, the things that they actually market to children are completely poisonous products. And somebody mentioned that that these products are okay in small doses, like the toxins are okay in small doses. But I say, well, you got to ask yourself, how much poison is a good amount of poison to give your kid?
Yes, in small dosages, but if you eat that every single day, that does build up in the body, and your body doesn't get rid of it. So how is that better? How is it okay?
Exactly. And that's the problem.
It's not okay.
It's not. You eat the cereal that has a little bit of poison. You drink the water that has a little bit of poison. The bread has a little bit of poison, and everything you eat has just a little bit of poison. And at the end of the day, you get a lot of poison. And so
You're
that's
right. So it adds up.
absolutely.
You can't say it doesn't hurt. When I heard that, I told my son, you got to watch the cereal.
Yeah.
He said they're doing that with everything. Try to eat as healthy as possible. And even then, you have to be careful. You can't just pick a piece of fruit in the supermarket anymore. You got to check the code on the fruit. You got to look at the fruit. Does it look waxy? Why is that so shiny like that?
Right.
Stuff like that. I think, okay, you got to be careful how you eat your own fruit now.
It's
So,
it's crazy that you say that, because there are children who grow up now and they just think that apples produce a waxy coating. Like they just think that the fruit produces it. I've heard them. They've told me. And it's like, wow, that's crazy, because if you weren't alive 20 years ago, you don't know that there was once a time when there wasn't organic or GMO. It was just fruit. Like everything was organic.
Fruit, right. A nutritionist told me about that. I used to know someone who worked in the health field, and she was like, be careful of the fruit that you buy. So what are you talking about? She said, look at the codes on the fruit. I'm like, the codes on the fruit? And when she told me about it, I'm like, no way. So now I'm in the supermarket and turning the thing around. I know they think I'm crazy, but I'm like, I don't know. If it doesn't have a seed, it's not a real fruit.
Right.
It's so hard to find. Like the grape, the watermelon, doesn't have seeds. It's not a real. I'm like, okay, this is getting too crazy. It's getting too crazy.
It's impossible. When I was a kid, I remember you never could get grapes without seeds. They all had seeds in them, and I remember spitting them out all the time. That was my thing, watermelons. And like you said, now it's like it's so hard to find seeded grapes. It's hard.
That's so true. And even with Dr. Sedatives, they tell you to get the grapes with the seed. So I went out to, I think, one of the supermarkets, and they're like, seedless grapes, what is this? And I was like, okay, I had to go to Whole Foods. And I noticed that the healthy food stores are not in your local neighborhood. I have to go out of my way to go to get something healthy. And it's a matter of convenience as well.
Yeah.
So if I can get something from the corner store and it's not healthy for me, that people tend to do that instead of going out of their way to maybe go to Whole Foods. You have Whole Foods and who else is around?
Absolutely.
So it's just making it has to be available to everybody, and it's not. It's not. I do a lot of shopping on Amazon, actually. So.
Yeah. You're actually you're kind of getting into a topic of how they're taking.
I'm gonna get in trouble soon.
No, they're taking the healthy options out of the urban communities, especially, and you can only it's very inconvenient.
Right.
One thing that you could possibly look at doing is look for a co-op or something like that. There's
the farmers market.
There's options out there, but once again, we have to kind of go out of our way to look for those options. So, but growing your own food. I know you live in New York. There's vertical gardens that people do. There's YouTube videos and things that could teach you how to do gardens inside or vertical gardens and things like that. That will help a little bit. At least you can get some fresh fruit and vegetables every once in a while, especially fresh herbs and things like that. So there's options out there, but at the end of the day, we have to work on changing society in order to really promote health, as a whole. Society has to change. We've got to get rid of a lot of the fast food restaurants. People need to know the truth about the products. Pretty much all of the processed food is bad for you. So I don't even go on the inside aisles. They say if you want to eat healthy, you shop on the outside aisles. That's what I do. I go to the produce section. I might grab, something, a carton of soup broth or something like that from inside. But for the most part, I just shop produce and I cook. I cook 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay. Well, I'm learning how to cook, make things of my own. Like I started using the chickpea flour. And one time I became gluten intolerant because I would break out for no reason. So
Um,
I've sort of changed, the way I've eaten that way. I cut out a lot of sugar. I had that with my son. He had cancer before, and especially if you have cancer, it's the most cancer grows. I told that to my son, and I took away all the sweets in the house for him. He was doing fine. When he went into remission, the doctor told him he can have all the sugar he wanted. I was like, why are you telling him that? That's
wow.
not true.
Wow.
So I'm like, and then of course my son believed what the doctor said. I said, no, sugar, they said sugar feeds cancer. Why would he tell you that?
Right.
Why would the oncologist tell you that? And that, well, he's a young black male. Okay, so
Right.
he shouldn't have said that to him.
Wow.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's
I remember that.
and see that's the type of stuff that really, really pisses me off because it's like common sense should tell you that that statement should never come out of your mouth, especially as a
Right.
like as a health professional. Why are you arguing? Big sugar is just like big tobacco. Everybody has their science that can prove that their product is safe. Okay, the big tobacco did it successfully for years. It wasn't until the scientists came out was like, hey guys, we were lying. And then it's like, oh, okay, you guys were lying. Science lies, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it does. We can't just trust that. We've got to take control of our own health. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. We can't trust someone else. You know your body the best. And especially when it comes to like allergies and things like that, it's easy. Especially what I'm learning is the healthier I get, the easier it is for me to pick up on things that don't sit well in my system. And so
Right.
I just eliminate it. I'm like, oh, this made me feel sick. This gave me the bubbly guts. This gave me gas or whatever. And I just eliminate it.
It also changes your taste buds. You're like, this doesn't taste right. Something about this does not taste right. So your taste buds become more aware of how a food has been changed or modified. My son will tell me something, oh, that doesn't like you used to taste. No, it doesn't. So we eliminate that. We don't have it. But fasting is a tool that should be taught, and it's not. And it should, in the mainstream of things, not just in the church, and if you think about it, if you go to the doctor and they're about to do a procedure for you, they tell you not to eat your fasting.
Right.
You're fasting anyway. But they're not going to tell you to go on your own and try fasting. They're not going to tell you that.
Right.
Unless you have a doctor that thinks outside of the box.
Yep. And that's a good point because doctors will oftentimes, depending on the procedure you're getting, hey, fast for 2-3 days. But like,
right.
If you go and tell them, hey, I did a 3-day fast. Oh no, you can't do that. You're gonna.
You gotta eat. You gotta eat. Yes.
Look, when my brother
it doesn't fit the agenda.
Yeah, when
fit the agenda. Yeah.
When my brother went to tell his doctor that, because they were blown away. They were like, how did you, like, your diabetes is gone. How did you do that? And he was like, oh, I've been fasting. She went crazy. Oh, you can't do that. You're going to damage your liver. You're going to do this and that and the other. I'm like, man, these people, they are brainwashed by their own system. A lot of these doctors, they don't realize how illogical they sound sometimes. And I'm not bashing doctors. I think a lot of doctors go into it with good intentions, but the system is fundamentally flawed. They're being taught the wrong thing.
Right. It's rigged for failure.
Absolutely. It's a big business and it makes very, very good money.
I know, because I think I was on 9 medications, and I was only on really, I think maybe 5 of them. I had to take 3 to combat the symptoms I was having from the other 5. So why are you giving me this pill that's going to make me sick? There has to be a better way.
And we found it fast.
And we found it. Right.
Absolutely. Well, it's been amazing talking to you. I'm really, really happy that we got to do this. Did you have any questions for me? Anything that you wanted to ask me while we're kind of chatting?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, I don't pay because I keep up with you on with YouTube, and I check. I always check the Facebook. I don't always post, but I keep up with the Facebook. But I definitely catch you on YouTube. So
Good. Glad to hear it. I've got
I'm glad I found your channel.
Okay. I'm finishing up the water series this Sunday. I've got the last video of that coming out, and I'm pretty excited. I think it's a nice little finale, so you can look forward to that since you kind of keep up with those videos. I'm going to try something new. It's called a premiere, YouTube premiere, where I'm going to announce I announce the video ahead of time, and then I will be live. When the video goes live, I'll be live, available in the chat room. So I think that'll be fun to play with.
Yeah, I don't always catch it when you go live. I catch it afterwards. Because either
Okay.
I'm not home or something is going on. But so the next day or a little bit later, I say, "Oh wow, he was on. I missed that." But then I would watch it then. So.
All right. Well, I'll also be live tomorrow because I'll be announcing my 30-day fast. So I'll be live on the Facebook group sometime tomorrow. So maybe you'll catch me on there. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. I'll look out for it.
So I hope you all enjoyed that conversation. I mean, obviously, we're learning every day that, just because the doctors say that something is a death sentence or that it's something you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life, that's only based off of the knowledge that they have available to them, and they're not necessarily lying to you, but based on what the methods they have available, that's just their truth. We are learning a different truth, and I'm really excited to be able to share stories like this with you all so that it can encourage you, because while you might not be necessarily dealing with congestive heart failure, you might have something else that you're dealing with that is considered to be a death sentence or that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. And I think every day we're proving that that's just simply not true. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, share this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I'll see you guys next time.